Good morning, everybody. Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates here. Coming at you with some stitching. And if you can't tell from where you're sitting, I got my stand. So I didn't think it was coming until Monday. I could swear the last date I saw was September 9th. But it got delivered yesterday. So I immediately got it put together and started working with it. And yeah, I think it's working pretty darn well. So first things first, it is, I'm much closer this time because the stand is in the way. 7:42 a.m. Friday, September 6th, 75 degrees going up to 86 here. So I have, let's see, let me show you this first. It probably isn't going to focus either. Find your joy. So I am working on this pattern I created today. I am starting in the middle, as one does sometimes, as I do on designs that don't have well-defined edges. So I am working on the edge of the O here. I'd have that. I have this center done. I'm starting down. Like I said, I did that. I came down. I have this purple and this blue done, and I'm starting down this curve of the U. So yeah, I am stitching this on 36 count linen. I actually got this also in the mail yesterday. This is Picture This Plus Dusk in 36 count, and I got this from Kitten Stitcher's shop. And let me tell you, from Mississippi to here, it goes pretty fast. This is the second thing I've ordered from her, and it got here pretty quickly. I don't remember exactly what day I ordered it, and of course it was just sent first class mail, but considering some of the other experiences I've had with getting mail out here, I was very pleased. And of course I was very pleased with the quickness of getting the Lowery Stand too. Now, I did not order the extender bar. By the time I placed my order, the extender bars were sold out on Amazon, so I am keeping my eye open to get one of those too. Right now I have it where I sit on the couch. I have it like sitting in front of me, pointing towards me, just like it is now. So it's not like ideal. It's not like I can swing it out of the way to get up, but it is light enough and less bulky, enough that I don't have any problems with just kind of sliding it out of the way. So yeah, so far I'm liking it. I am using, I didn't measure this, maybe an 11 by 11 inch Q-snap on this project. Just happens to be another one I had. I do have some scroll rods too, tucked away upstairs, but yeah, I'm gonna use Q-snaps for a while before I bother with getting the scroll rods out. So, what have you guys been up to? Did you have a good week? My in-laws made it in safe and sound yesterday. Got interrupted by a spam phone call because I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. That is so annoying. Anyway, my in-laws made it in safe and sound. Mike went to work today. He's going to be coming home early, and then we're going to head to the North Shore to get some shrimp. Wander around up there a little bit. We don't really have any solid to-dos except going to a luau while they're here. They've been to Hawaii before, so they've seen a lot of the things, and you know, just basically spending time together is the important part. Just glad they're here. So let's see. Find Your Joy. So as you know, this is the one I did design. I decided to start stitching on it to see if it turns out okay, basically. This is Mrs. Seda silk that I'm using. Now, there is not equivalence in her line yet for, of course, all of the different DMC colors, and I don't expect there ever will be equivalence for all of the DMC colors. That would just be crazy. But what I've done is basically just I'm using things that are close, and she has enough colors that it wasn't hard. Right, sorry about that, another interruption. I was afraid my in-laws were, I had told them I was recording a video, and I was afraid they were hiding in their bedroom, afraid to make any noise, and they haven't had breakfast yet or anything, so I told them to come on out and enjoy. Don't worry about me. So if you hear things clattering around, it's just the in-laws making themselves at home. So I was saying, Mrs. Seda silk. So I just kind of substituted in things that were close enough. Like I think I have this purple as being 550, DMC 550, and Raquel doesn't have a purple yet that is that dark, so I just used something else. I am going to, this is charted in DMC. There is a way, like the program I'm using has a ton of other thread choices, like pretty much anything you can imagine. It does have the thread choice in there to design with, but of course it doesn't have Mrs. Seda silks. There is a way to add a new thread palette, so I'm going to figure that out and add in to the pattern what I've used on this. That is, if this turns out okay stitched. It's all still, you know, a work in progress at this point. Like I said, I'm probably not going to be working much on the shop and on, you know, getting stuff designed this week while Ann and Dick are here. Because, you know, they're here to spend time with us, so we shall see. So I appreciate all the input you guys gave me on where to get magnets. Of course, we don't have Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby here, so yeah, that doesn't do me much good, unfortunately. I did go to Lowe's. The only kind that the Lowe's here had was the black ones, and enough of you have said that they make marks on the fabric that, you know, I didn't want to get those. I didn't go to Home Depot. I did go to the Ben Franklin, and they did have some. Let me find them here. They had these little ones with the holes in the middle. So I'm going to give these a try. I think they do carry another size, but they were sold out. The little peg thingy was empty. So I'm going to give these a try and see if they work. They're very tiny, but we'll see. I'm sorry I didn't get the magazine flip through, the punch needle and primitive stitcher flip through done yesterday or Wednesday or any day. Having trouble seeing the holes on this one. Hold on, make sure that's right. Yeah, I just still had too much to do to get ready for my in-laws coming in, so it just didn't happen. And it probably won't happen. I might have time to record one. I got a notification from Readly that the next issue of World of Cross Stitching is out. I'm telling you what, I love that Readly app. And every time, you know, I favorited. Oh, the sun just went in, and now I'm talk about not being able to see on black fabric. Although this is more of a navy blue. the magazines that I favorited, it sends me in an email notices whenever the next issue is out. So it's kind of fun because every couple of weeks I'm getting a notification that a new cross stitch magazine is out. Let me know if you guys want me to do flip throughs of all of them. I know some other people out there do flip throughs, but I certainly can. I just don't want to be redundant if I don't need to be. So yeah, this is dusk by Picture This Plus. I was going to move this down and kind of give you, with the sun shining through it, it's hard to see, but oops. With the sun shining through it, it's really hard to tell the color, but that's a pretty good look at it. It's kind of this very mottled dark blue. And look, Mrs. Sadis's needle minder. I'm using a needle minder. Yay! How fun is that? So let's see, what else do we have going on here? So anyways, yeah, let me know if you want to see all the magazines, flip throughs through all of them. I can certainly do that in my copious free time, right? I'm actually looking forward to getting, of course I'm looking forward to getting the store set up, but once I do, that will be, you know, one less thing off my plate. But it's quite an endeavor. So we'll get there. It's all fun and it's all a learning experience. So I am stitching two-handed on this. I have to say, you know, I still think the sewing method is the fastest way to stitch, but I'm pleased with my progress on this. I worked on it probably 2 or 3 hours. Well, no, maybe 3 or 4 hours last night. Once I got the stand set up, and I think it's going pretty good. This is not as small of a design as I had hoped that it would be as I tried to make it. You know, I designed it in Photoshop, but when I brought it into the pattern making software, when I tried to make it smaller, it just turned out really jagged looking. It was pretty bad. So this is actually like 200 by 200, so it's not small. But a lot of it is these big blocks of color. So I'm hoping that in spite of that, it will go fast and that it will be a nice project when done. Nice bright thing to hang in your room. Nice bright thing to hang in my room. And you know I like bright. Let's see. Let me mark off some things here. So, you know, you can always count on me to come up with kind of the craziest idea possible for storage and organization, right? Well, I'm at it again. So I started the Santa Fe decor piece as well. So much for no new starts, right? I know. Teal, I hear you. I know. But you know, whenever it's your business, you gotta do it, right? I know. But anyways, so I showed you that knitting cable that I thought would work to hold my bags on. Yeah, it's just too much. And that was only half of them on that at that point, because the other half where it was on was in my other rings that I'm, you know, for my current projects. So my brain starts clicking. And you know, I'm trying to think of ways how can we keep it compact? How can we keep it as small as possible, but have like, okay, so I had my original thought was to work it like I have my fractal bookmark, where I have the thread keepers and I have the plastic, you know, they're plastic, so I have the numbers, or not the numbers, the symbols written on the plastic in a Sharpie. And I have just like 3 lengths of each color wrapped on the thread keeps in the holes. And then I have all those needles in the fabric, right? And that is working relatively well. Whenever I'm done with any particular thread, or I need to get to the next color, the first thing I do is check where I have my needles stored. And all the symbols are written on the fabric. And so I just need to check and see, you know, do I have a needle threaded already? And if I do, I get it and I'm good to go. And if not, then I go to my needle keep and pull a strand off and thread the needle and go. So that works fairly well. But it is like 2 steps if there isn't a needle, you know, 2 places I have to go to if there isn't a needle ready. So my mind starts thinking, okay, how can I work it so that both of the things are in the same place, the needles and the thread? And so I started to think about getting some foam core, and I could put removable tape on the foam core and attach the piece of foam core to the middle, so like you have the 2 rows of holes, and then there's a good chunk of space in the middle where I could tape down with removable tape the foam core. And then I do have a thread sorter. Let me get to that page and try and show you without bumping things too much. In my patterns, they will all have these thread sorters. So it's just a page or multiple pages, depending on how many colors, with the symbols and the numbers listed. So I could print that out and cut them out and put that on the foam core in the middle. So that is one option. When I was originally thinking about this, I wasn't thinking about removable tape, and so I wasn't sure how well that would work, because, well, basically it wouldn't be reusable, right? The thread keeps, I'm just going to do this away over here because I don't want to have to turn you over. You know, if I don't use removable tape, if I put that foam core on and tape the symbols to it, then it would just become a mess. But anyways, if I have the foam core in the center there, I can stick the needle in the edge of the foam core right where the color thread is. So that was one option. But with the Santa Fe decor one that I'm doing, it's 200 and some colors. So that's an awful lot of thread keeps, an awful lot of threads hanging down, and that really doesn't bother me too much. It is kind of messy looking, but it's not like, you know, it's not like they really get tangled, because when you're just pulling the one thread out, it just usually pulls through any mess. I've had a couple times when it hasn't, but for the most part it does. But I was talking with Kay, Crafty Cat, last night. She is the one that was one of my 5,000 subscriber prize makers. She made the project bags and floss keeper things, floss bag things for 2 people. So she was showing me the second set that she made before she sends it off. And it got me thinking about pockets. And so we talked a little bit and talked about what kind of like pocket type products there are out there, because I am all about, hold on, I'm having trouble making sure this is 2. I am all about, as much as possible, using stuff that's out there, you know, not reinventing the whole wheel if we don't have to. So we talked about baseball card holders and, you know, the scrapbook pages that have different modular pockets on it, that kind of thing. So I went to Amazon and started searching and came across, well, my first thought was the sleeves that you keep slides in, because those would be smaller pockets, right? Smaller. And you'd have more on a page. So in the process of looking for that, I found coin pockets and stamp pockets. And so there's actually a package of those type of things, and it's archival quality. So, you know, that has to help in some way with the plastic issue. But there's a package on Amazon that has pockets that have, or has sheets that have, like a set that has 24 pockets, 30, and 42. I think there's 12, 24, 30, and 42. So my idea is, again, using removable tape, to cut out from my pattern those floss, the symbol and floss number bits. Use removable tape and tape those on all the pockets, and then glue down a piece of felt. And what I'm thinking is, say you have your pocket here, right? And you have your piece of felt, I would just glue down like this end of it, so the other end was still flapping free, and that's where I would place my needle. And that way the needle and thread is all together. I would just cut off, again, just 1 or 2, maybe 3 lengths of each color, and wind them up and stick them in the pocket. Those would be easy to access. The needle, the floss hanging from the needle, I could even kind of roll up and stick in the pocket so all the lengths aren't hanging down. Or even wrap it around the needle on the felt. That would work too. So anyways, this is my latest crazy idea. I think it will work pretty well. And then just get a binder. I think the one packet with all the different size sleeves in it will be enough for the big project. And then just stick it in a binder so it's easy to carry, it's easy to clean up and put away. I don't have a lot of stuff just like hanging loose. Is that totally insane? Or did I just come up with the next best thing? I will, of course, be placing an order with Amazon today for the pockets and the removable tape. I'll go to Walmart and get some felt and more needles, lots more needles. And then I'll put it together and see what happens. I also have done something else crazy with kind of a way to be the main storage of my floss. You know, for those that have watched the old video or that have been around for a while, I do have my Tux bags hanging like in hanging folders. It's kind of like the Annie system that several of you have mentioned, but it's homemade. So I'm actually using the metal lanyard clips, they're about that big, to hang the bags from. And while it seemed a good idea at the time, it's a royal pain in the butt. They're hard to get to they're hanging in a file drawer, right, from the hanging folders. It's hard to get to, especially if the color, and it always seems to be this way, the color is at the end of the row further back in the drawer. The clips, oh my God, these lanyard clips get tangled on each other, the bags flip around. It's just a royal pain in the butt. So I am in the process of refiguring that. Sorry for my hand in the way. I have to cut off this little end here. I am not ready to show you what I'm doing because it's really insane. I don't want you to think that I'm too awfully crazy. If I decide it works for me well enough, I will show you. But for now, yeah, we're just going to keep it under wraps for now. We'll have another big reveal here at some point. Let's see, where am I? So 2 more 2s. So let's see what else is going on. I've heard from Sally from Create to Thrive Knit Companion. For those of you, this is information for those of you who have tried Knit Companion or were thinking about trying it, tried it and were a little disappointed in how it worked for you. I've been chatting with Sally over on Ravelry, and I sent her actually the Santa Fe decor one that I'm working on. It is the large one, so again, over 200 colors, and it has 54 pages to the pattern. She wanted a large one, so I sent that to her, and she is going to work through the process of setting the pattern up in Knit Companion to see if she can recreate some of the glitches that people have been having, even following the template idea that she outlined and that Karen Bug did a video on. I know that there's some people that were still having problems, and Sally is eager to answer those problems. So I've been talking to her with her about that, and she also said, or I sent her the pattern, but she also said she wants to have a conversation with me about what the workflow of working a cross-stitch pattern looks like. I am really, really hoping that this means she has it in her head to create a program just for cross-stitch. You know, that's kind of my ultimate goal with this. So, yeah, I hope to be talking to her soon to get that ball rolling. But I will keep you guys updated. I'm very excited, and hopefully in the not too distant future, Knit Companion will have Cross Stitch Companion, which would just throw me down to my little toes. Now, one of the other things I'm going to ask her when we talk, whoops, that's a 2, is whether it would be feasible. So one of the things, let me back up a step here. One of the things that Knit Companion does, or that Create to Thrive does, is works with a variety of designers to set up their patterns in Knit Companion. So you can go to the Create to Thrive website and buy the pattern already set up to work in Knit Companion. Did you get all that? So the designers still get the full price for their patterns. Hold on, checking. Okay. And then you pay a little extra to Create to Thrive for the work of setting up the pattern. And the nice thing of the way they do it is, if you have already bought the pattern and then you see, oh, Create to Thrive has a version of it, I don't have to do the setup myself, then you just pay the difference at Create to Thrive for the pattern, or for their setup portion of it. You don't have to totally buy the pattern all over again through them. So anyways, one of the things I'm going to ask Sally is if she would be willing to work with my patterns to set them up for people to buy through them, as well as through me, you know, if you don't want that feature, to have it already set up and ready to go. So that is something else I am looking forward to, because Lord knows, I think, in my opinion, I would love to have my cross stitch pattern all set up the pages all hooked together, all set up for me to ready to start stitching, because it does take a while to bring all the pages together in Knit Companion. So I think that's about all I have for you guys today. That is the inside of the U done, pretty much. Yay. So guys, I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. I know we are going to have fun here. I will definitely be back on Tuesday with my Floss 2 video. Hopefully I will have lots of interesting things to show you, even though we will be out and about quite a bit this weekend, I'm sure. But we're all a bunch of old geezers, so we appreciate coming home. Like going out in the morning and doing stuff. You know, we've traveled a lot with my in-laws in our RV, and so our usual pattern of activity is going out and doing stuff in the morning, stopping someplace for lunch, and then coming back and crashing for the rest of the day, whether it's nap time or just chilling, talking and chatting and laughing and giggling and all that fun stuff. So that is probably how we will work it here as well. So I will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, hopefully with all kinds of crazy ideas to share with you. But until that time, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.